from the referees. They check everything is sorted at the table. Thompson and Presley are ready to jump it up, and we are good to go. The 2018 WBBL playoff final, the two best teams in the country going head-to-head, and it's Hayward attacking the basket straight away for Leicester. Oliver with the rebound. Couple of easy ones. Oh, Oliver gets it back somehow. Well, Leicester missed a couple of chippies, but they get the ball back. And they go straight down low to Kate Oliver. McGarrigan drives hard under pressure. Thompson in there trying to keep it alive, and Leicester will feel they should have points on the board there in the first 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think so, and you know, they're making their mark right now. This is what they want to do for the rest of the game. Offensive rebound, do all the little things, so.
Well, it's Fritz who crosses the halfway line. Leicester show full court, didn't really play it. Here's Clark. Clark on her own, fires up from 17 feet, rims out. Not much ball movement on that first play. Here's Oliver. Hands it over to McGarrigan. McGarrigan on the pick and roll. Finds Hayward, knocked loose by Clark, but illegally so, first foul of the game against the Suns.
Yeah, I think she was just a little slow to that there. T. She saw the cut, but maybe she didn't get her feet there just in time.
Winterburn gets open. Goes to Oliver. Shot clock being counted down by Leicester. Inside to McGarrigan. It's at 5. McGarrigan finds some space, but lid on that basket just won't go in.
Yeah, they'll start to drop.
Here comes Carl. Fritz in the corner. Gets it back to Carl. Winterburn on the defensive duties. Nice move from Carr, drives through the lane, and you can see how much attention she draws whenever she gets the ball.
Yeah, I mean, you just see two back-to-back offenses there. The offensive skill set of both Carr and Clark, they're hard to contain.
End line ball to the Suns. Cross court to Fritz. Fritz in the corner, lines up the three, overcooks that one, bit too much legs in that. Carl with the crossover. Just a little bit too high and out of bounds.
The energy is good. They've started off well. Now we just need to settle down and get some scores, I think.
Oh yeah, scoreboard operator, easiest job in the building so far today. It's both struggling to get points on the board. That'll break for Oliver, trying to get it back to Winterburn. Can't quite beat the ball to the sideline, and it will be Seven Oaks with possession.
Who's going to score first?
I don't know. This is like football game, isn't it? Mourinho at one end. Here's Presley. Couple round to Fritz. Back to Carl. Carl kind of stuck, gets it onto Presley with the shot clock ticking down. It's going to be a violation if Leicester don't come up with it. Leicester do come up with it through Hayward. Hayward cross to McGarrigan. McGarrigan corner three, too long. And Carl with the rebound. Fritz. And maybe we'll get some points from the free throw line, as that's a good attack of the basket, which will result in a couple of free throws.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same. It's a smart move from Chantel there. She could have taken that short corner jump shot, but she knows she needs to get points on the board for her team, and attacking the basket and getting fouled is the right way to do that.
Or maybe not.
I've got faith.
Hey?
I've got faith. Just the first one.
Again, you look at a couple of the... no!
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, here we go. Second chance opportunity with an offensive rebound. Carl with the crossover, drives to the basket. Surely now, yes, points on the board.
Who else were you going to count on to get it going?
There's Thompson. It's a towed the line three-point shot. Would have only been worth 2 from Oliver. Oh, nice pass inside, and suddenly it's opened up at one end.
And I think then that's the thing with Seven Oaks. You've got that experience of Carr and Clark, and you always know on the offensive end they're going to score.
Oliver drives hard off the glass. There's Thompson with the offensive rebound, throws it up because she was kind of out of balance.
Yeah.
And still Leicester can't get any points on the board.
Gives it up to
Carr. Calling for the screen, goes round it.
Carr, nice pass again, Couple.
Oh, gets that one to go. And we'll go to the line for a bonus. It's 6-0 Seven Oaks.
And this is what we were talking about from Leicester's point of view. Who is it that's going to step up now and score for them?
Well, it's one of those things. The first minute goes by, a minute and a half goes by. You don't really worry about it. And it gets to 2 minutes and 3 minutes and now 4 minutes. You start thinking, what's going on here?
Yeah. But, you know, it's a game where 1-3 and they're straight back in it.
Couple fails to get the extra one.
Oliver comes up with the ball. It's almost like they need some fast break points or something just to get the scoreboard ticking. Here's Oliver. She's going to take 3. That front rims. Thompson keeps it alive, but only to find the bench on the sideline. I just wonder whether they need to go at the basket and try and draw a foul even if you can't get, rather than shooting long-range jump shots.
I agree. That's, you know, that's what Seven Oaks have done, and Chantel started that just with the corner drive there. And Leicester are really great defensively, so they need to rely on that, get a few steals, and like you said, try and run the fast break.
Well, they wouldn't be too disappointed giving up 6 points in 4.5 minutes.
No.
It's the nil that's the problem.
Here we go.
McGarrigan. Down low to Oliver. Oliver, nice step under. There we go. Leicester on the board. Kate Oliver, the provider.
Yeah, that's what they need.
Here's Carl. Fritz. Fritz trying to attack. Forced back out to Clark. Shot clock very low here for Clark. Drives in. Gets all the way to the basket. Right on one on the shot clock. Lays it in.
It's a great move. Great strong move by Tiani there.
Here's Oliver. McGarrigan sneaking back door. Defense recovers well. And can't convert. Here's Carl in transition. On her own, off the glass. Good finish. And that will force a timeout called here by Coach Patel. He sort of let it go when the points weren't going, but suddenly 8-point lead midway through the quarter. You got to call a stop to it and try and draw something up and get some easy points.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. He's let it go when he should have, and now it is time for him. The players are struggling to gain control of the game, so he has to do that for them now and try and get them an easy score.
Well, this was Kat Carr, and you can see whenever she's got the ball, there's usually 3 red shirts somewhere near her. But I suppose it's one of those things as a coach. What can you do 4.5, 5.5 minutes into a game? Your team is 1 for 11. You can't take the shots for them. I mean, you can draw something up to try and make it a little easier, but they've got to knock those shots down. Yeah,
I think his demeanor right now is everything that I would want as a player. If your coach is freaking out, you're freaking out. So he just needs to stay calm. You know, Dee's talking to them now as well. The girls need to stay calm and just know that it's basketball. They've played it all season. Those baskets are going to go in.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's easy. We all get excited in the venue and the occasion and the blah, blah, blah. It's still, you know, 94 feet
it's
of
like,
hardwood with a 10-foot basket at either end.
Exactly the same game. That'll be fine.
Well, there's Kat Carr wandering back out with 4 of her team's 10 points. And Leicester shooting 1 for 11 here in the first 5.5 minutes. Here's Navarro into the game for the first time. Thompson. Here is Navarro shooting up for 3. A little short on the legs. One or two early on, had too much adrenaline that went over. Hers was a bit short. His Claw regains it well. Can't finish, but gets her own rebound and finds some way out. Hand checking foul on Hayward. And that'll be a sideline possession to the Suns.
Yeah, I think she needs to take that three-pointer though, Navarro, because that's why she's in the game, and he's obviously injected her to try and get some scores on the board. So,
well, Leicester is a team that relies on the three-point shot. They make more than anybody else. They shoot it at a better clip than everybody else.
Yeah.
And Navarro is certainly one of those three-point shooters that they would allow to take that shot. Here's Carr, laid in the shot clock victory.
That was deep. She can score from anywhere.
She can score from anywhere. Here's Thompson driving through. Foul is called on the floor. And it's on Catherine Carr. I suppose that's, we talk about what she can do, and that's one way of defending her, isn't it? If you can get her into early foul trouble, she can shoot from anywhere on the floor, but not from the bench.
Yes. Or just pray that Len subs her out.
Yeah. Here's Navarro. Round. Thompson at the elbow. Back to Round. Good position from Campbell, but the pass was just not exactly where she wanted it.
Yeah.
It slipped through her hands.
He's trying different combinations here, I think, to see what is going to settle them down.
There's Koppel driving in. Fritz gets some space from the elbow. Koppel all on her own, gets the offensive rebound. Like a defensive player there, she'd be so wide open. Carr behind the back, tough shot. Another offensive rebound by the Suns. They've done well on the glass. Their fourth rebound at this end. Clark's three doesn't go, and finally Leicester wrap it in. Winterburn pulls up for three, boom, knocks it down.
See, she's a vet. Who's going to get him going, the vet?
Wow, she did.
Pull up three in transition.
Pull up three in transition and pumping the team up back at the defensive end. It is one of those things, if you're going to go down 11 in the first quarter, because it gives you a lot of time to recover from it.
Yeah.
Here's Clark. Good pass. Carr inside is blocked. And away come Leicester in transition. Winterburn to Round, fires up the three. Thompson keeps it alive. Carr steals it away. Winterburn chasing her down. Carr goes in, lays it in for two.
It's a fast-paced game, though.
Yeah. Good steal and run back by Carr. Down low to Campbell. Tough shot under all sorts of pressure. Fritz with the rebound. $80 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Well, defensively, Leicester haven't done too bad. It's offensively that they've struggled, and the foul there called on Winterburn, because Seven Oaks, you keep them to 15 in the opening quarter, you'd be reasonably pleased with that. You wouldn't expect to be double figures behind.
Yeah, and I think just from watching, I was going to say earlier, is that the one-on-one defense from Leicester hasn't been bad at all. It's just, you know, they are going to score when they've got the offensive team that they have. And like you said, 15 points, you wouldn't mind, would you? You wouldn't mind having that going into the second quarter.
I suppose the one thing Krimesh Patel might be a little concerned about, the 5 offensive rebounds, 5 second chance points from them. When you're not scoring too many, you have to try and limit their opportunities at the other end.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. And Leicester know all about that. They've been doing exactly the same down their end. So they just need to make sure every time a shot goes up, they're really boxing out and doing the little things.
Yeah, the difference is Leicester's 5 offensive rebounds have turned into no points.
Yeah.
It's an 11-point ball game. Suns on top.
Well, Carr's going to get herself a little break here. She's got 9. So is outscoring Leicester on her own by 4 so far. McGarrican gets it inside, just too much on that one from Jones, and the Suns come the other way. Jones knocks it loose and deflected out of bounds by Koppel. It will be a Leicester ball. Koppel has a wry glance at the official there, as if there's no contact on that one.
Dee's been quite quiet so far, so I'm expecting her to start heating up as well.
Just the one-shot attempt so far for Dee Haywood. Here she is on the ball. McGarrican. McGarrican driving hard, Drew, wow, it was like a block shot, but she still finished it off anyway.
Yeah, good strong finish. I don't know, do we give that one to Fritz or her?
Yeah. Well, there's just a slight difference between shot and game clock, but not much. Koppel turning it over. McGarrican is grabbed, and the Leicester bench is up asking the question about unsportsmanlike there. Wow, that's very close to the line now. I'm not sure there's much play on the ball.
No.
In the old rule where you could grab them if somebody else was back, but
break.
Now
yeah,
that was very close to the line.
It was, but it gives them the last offense still.
Well, they could have had 2 free throws.
They could have.
There we go. Drive to the basket from Round, and they get 2 on the board. Well, end of the first quarter, Leicester have really struggled here, but they're only down 7.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's the best time, if there is a best time, to go down is in the first quarter. And the interesting thing for me is that Round, Winterburn, it's been the young ones that have really settled them in. So it's now, maybe it's time for the older ones, the more experienced ones, to take over now.
Well, we were talking to Mark Clark before the game, and he was saying Sevenoaks will do that. They'll straight line. You know what you're going to get. They're going to go all the way through. There'll be no up or no down. They're a very consistent team all the way through. Can Leicester get the up or the down that they need? They started off on the down. They need to find some ups here in the second quarter.
They do. They started off on, quite a big down, but, they've settled it. So really, they're fine now going into the second quarter. But you're right, Sevenoaks, it's a difficult team to play against, especially if you get behind, because they are so calm and so consistent, and to chip away at a lead can be quite difficult. So I think Leicester really need to kind of make a push now and not let that lead get any further ahead.
Oh, you can see Kat Carr with plenty to say in that break. She has 10 points in the first quarter. And I guess you could say, well, right, she's unlikely to get 40 in a playoff final, so maybe she's had her early spurt. We can control her a little better as time goes on. And as I say, from a Leicester point of view, you scored 9 and only down 7. That's not too bad. No,
it's not. And then there's always the question, isn't there? Well, she's going to score a lot. How much do we focus on how much she's scoring and just try and stop the rest of the team from scoring? So it'll be interesting to see.
Well, she's right in front of us at half court, ready to inbound the ball. And we're ready to go. She has to straddle the halfway line, so you can throw it into the backcourt. And here we go with the second quarter. Carl. Clark. Carl gets some space. Well, maybe she will get 40.
I mean, I think the thing is that's just scouting there. I'd rather have her shoot a set shot from the 3 than a shot off the dribble, because she is killer off the dribble.
McGarrican to Oliver. Oliver fires up for 3. She's a little short on all 3 of her long-range shots so far. It's Jones. Jones takes the 19-foot jumper and knocks it down.
I mean, they were sagging so far off of her.
Yeah.
You've got to make them respect your shot.
Well, they won't sag off having seen that. And there she is, changing the shot at the other end with the deflection. Oh, but stolen away by Carr. Carr to the spin, ripped away by Oliver. Now Haywood, one-on-one with Clark. Haywood back out to round. Here's Jones putting it on the floor, and the foul is called. Oh, I don't know, Jones has made an impact in the last 30 seconds for sure, both ends of the floor.
Yeah, some great back-to-back plays from her.
That's number 2.
End-line possession. Oliver to the spin. And there's Jones again trying to make a nuisance, but it will be a Seven Oaks ball. Nice shot. It's one of those where you don't see it normally that early in the offense. You've got to make it. No rebounders in there, and she knocks it down.
Yeah, she can hit those, Chantal.
Lobbed into Oliver, perfectly weighted pass. Okay, Oliver just can't convert inside, and it ends up bouncing off her and out of bounds. Kate Oliver, a little roll of the eye, shooting 1 of 7 here, just struggling.
Yeah, she looks frustrated. It'll be one of those, as soon as one of them goes in, she'll feel fine, but at the minute it feels like, yeah, like there's a lid on the rim for her.
Well, almost 2 minutes into this second quarter, Seven Oaks leading by 9. Clark.
Goes cross court.
Good hands. Thompson just runs out of room on the sideline.
To the Suns.
Chantal and Oliver getting into it.
Fritz.
Fritz gets it to Tiani.
Nice drive from Clark to the basket, finding a little gap and re-establishing a double-figure lead. Thompson spins back. Still Leicester struggling in the painted area.
Maybe the worrying thing is that these shots aren't too bad and they're still not going in.
Yeah.
They're getting good shots.
Offensive foul is called against Fritz. Thompson taking the charge.
Foul call on 15, Judith Fritz.
You're not convinced by that
I
one,
just
are
couldn't
you?
see her feet. No, I am. She does. I was going to say she just does all, we've seen all year, she does all the little things for Leicester, does Jamila.
She's one of those, I don't think they keep the most charges taken stats, but if they did, she'd be at the top end of that.
Yeah.
Here's Winterberg. Round the screen. Garrican.
Head fake, jab step, Thompson on the ball.
Thompson back to Winterberg.
Gets it to Winterberg.
Kick ball, shot clock was at 6, it'll go back to 14.
11-22 the lead, 7 Oaks Suns by 11.
McGarrican with some space, takes the jump shot, rims out.
Rebound, Tiani Clark.
Maybe it's that end.
Yeah. Well, hopefully for them for the second half, it is.
That's a long-range three! Oh, from miles out!
You know what though, for Ashley, that isn't miles out. She is a shooter. You have to have your hands up no matter where you are. Seven Oaks born and bred as well, Ashley.
Haywood drives to the basket. Clark with the rebound. Clark. Here she is again, this time in the corner. Not this time. McGarrican to Thompson, kicks it out. Haywood for 3, off the back of the ring.
I think she should have gone up with that.
Yeah. 14-point lead, biggest of the game so far, 14 minutes in.
The thing is as well, this is giving Len time to get his bench in and get some people rests. This lead.
Carr driving in. draws the foul, and she will go to the line.
Foul called on Holly Winterberg.
And she's already ahead of Leicester with 12, a chance to add to that. Leicester making more substitutions again. I think Coach Patel just trying to find, as you say, the unit that clicks, that gets the offense going.
Yeah.
Defensively, they're not too bad. It's just can't get any points on the board.
Yeah, he's just trying different things, isn't it? And it has to be for them who is going to work better together as a team, because that's how they score. They score together. It's not the same necessarily as Sevenoaks, who are very good one-on-one and also as a team, but Leicester need to get something going together.
Second one is clean. 13 points for the league MVP. Well on a pace to add another MVP award on it. We're only 15 minutes in, but she's the front runner right now in this playoff final.
Yeah, definitely.
Foul is called. It'll be 2 free throws. Just a little bump there from Koppel. And Thompson with a chance to get the scoreboard ticking from the free throw line.
It's just difficult to see a way of how they're going to score. Sevenoaks have definitely decided that defense is going to win them this game, and they're playing great half-court defense.
I would say Leicester got some looks that they would be happy with. They just got to knock them down.
Yeah. Especially Oliver. Oliver's had a few.
Kate Oliver, 1 of 8.
Yeah.
Missed a couple of three-point shots that she likes her chances of making, a few close ones as well.
Yeah.
That you really would expect her to make.
Yeah.
There's Carr. Great pass. What a super pass that is from Carr to Clark for 2.
Pretty basketball. Tiani Clark finishes the play on the assist.
There's Hall. Thompson takes the shot, and again that's an open shot, a little short, and obviously Thompson's their most athletic offensive rebounder, and if she's taking the shot, she can't get it.
Yeah.
Couple.
Carr drives in. Campbell with the rebound.
Ebony Horton.
Horton tipped away by Munns. It'll be a Leicester possession. Round is going to check back into the game. So to Presley.
Presley back on the floor, couple 6.
Navarro to the corner.
Round has it for the Riders.
Horton lets fly. Short on that. There's Thompson trying to keep it alive. Carl boxed her out well. Clark.
Puts it up.
Body hit, Presley hit the deck there. Campbell with the rebound. Leicester can run here. 5 on 4 for a moment. There's Navarro. Everybody recovers. Campbell to Navarro. Navarro floats it in. Thompson saves it today. Shot clock getting low. Knocks it down. Jamila Thompson.
There we go.
For another 2.
Beats the buzzer.
Well, just under 4 minutes to go. 13-point lead here in the second quarter.
Nice first
Munns drives in.
Oh, beautiful
Nice.
basketball.
Beat her on the head fake. No help defense. With the lane.
Takes her to 15.
And they will just keep attacking and coming at you. They won't stop.
15 now
Back to a
for Carr.
15-point ball game.
Thompson just got that away. Navarro for 3. Off the front of the ring. Nobody there for the long rebound. Goes all the way to the front row.
Into the ball game wearing 13, Amelia Watkins for the first time, and Rennie Bush back on the floor.
Renee Bush into the game. will take over the ball handling duties.
No, again, when you just see the experience there coming off the bench, it's difficult. It's not easy to see.
Here's Bush in the corner. Bush takes the three and knocks it down. Three.
And you know, that's what she knows, what she does well, and that's what she does. And it's just the story of Seven Oaks. They do what they do well, and they do it efficiently.
Here's Horton. Oh, Horton recovers her own dribble, then stolen away, illegally so. Although Edith Fritz is not convinced by the look on her face there. She's like, I've got the ball, ref.
I know how that feels. It's never a foul,
it's
is it?
never a foul.
Never a foul.
Here we go. Let's see. Well, she did. The arm was there first, and it was on the side that the referee was looking at.
Shock and horror.
Yeah.
Shock and horror.
On the ball, Navarro.
McGarrigan.
Tough defense, McGarrigan back to
Shot clock. Navarro has to fire. And it still won't go from three-point range. Less than our 1 of 10 from long distance. Just that one from Winterburn in transition. In the set play, they haven't managed. That's a kickball.
The one that you probably wouldn't think was going to go.
Yeah.
The one as a coach that you're like, no.
Yeah,
Good shot.
Good shot.
Good shot.
Well, they've been doubled up here in the first 18 minutes and a bit. 33-15. And as you say, Seven Oaks not the team you want to try and chase down.
No, they really aren't.
If you're going to beat them, you need to stay ahead of them. Carr from miles out. That one off the mark.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one.
Coach Bush with his hands just up in the air like, what was that?
Listen, I'd let her take any shot.
Oliver Thompson.
Hayward.
The handoff to Dean Hayward.
McGarrigan, long two, knocks it down.
It was good. That was good patience, and they ran through their play, got an open shot, and it's just about knocking them down, and they will do.
It's Carr. In the corner, Bush. Flush off the three-point line, takes the mid-range.
Doesn't get the point. Offensive ball.
Fritz, 2 offensive rebounds,
Yeah.
and they were both open.
You have to make extra efforts to really get in defensively and rebound in these games. You can't let that happen.
McGarrigan is open, wants the three, takes the three, makes the three.
Basket good for McGarrigan.
Good, that's better. Now they need to stop.
She was screaming for that ball.
Yeah.
2 passes before that.
She was.
Carr cross-court to Bush.
Nice pick and roll. Watkins to the basket, just off left. Here's McGarrigan again. Pull up.
McGarrigan
Goes back to Winterburn, who fires the three.
doesn't get there.
Off the mark.
Winterburn.
That's going to be a foul on Hayward chasing the offensive rebound. That's not a bad shot, really. So you feel a bit comfortable as a team. You've got that open look in transition.
Yeah, you have that little bit of rhythm as well, and she made her last one, so.
But it is one you need to make, because you sort of look at it now. If
Yeah.
that goes in, 12-point game, you could go into the locker room down 10 maybe, you'd feel
Yeah.
good, whereas Seven Oaks come down here and score, suddenly you're looking at a big deficit again.
Yeah.
Another offensive rebound, Koppel this time. Presley got loads of space and gets the bounce for three. And that's the killer, because suddenly you're down 18.
Yeah, that is the trade-off. And then, you know, like we've been saying, they're doing a great job on the offensive boards, and Leicester really need to stop that from happening if they want to get in with the sniff of getting this game close.
Here's Winterburn. Shot clock down to 5.
Winterburn.
Cole Priestley with the steal, and it came off Winterburn's leg last. Great defense, and a chance to make it a 20-point game here with 4 seconds to go in this first half.
I think when you're competitive like that, in your head you can think, okay, let me try and do something, let me try. But Leicester need to do that as a team, and they really don't want to go into one-on-one basketball in that way.
Here's Fritz, she's kind of trapped there, not going to get one off. And that will do it. An excellent first half for the Seven Oaks Suns. Leicester never got going. And Kat Carr absolutely punished them. 15 points for her in the first half. And Seven Oaks in a tremendous position right now.
Yeah, I mean, and who better to lead them, like you said. She really has set the tone for them, both offensively, defensively, on the boards. They just need to follow her lead now.
Well, what will Leicester do here at halftime? They've got plenty to talk about, and offensively is their problem. You know, defensively, it's not the end of the world. You've given up 38, maybe 1 or 2 more than you would like to have given up, but not the end of the world. But 20 in a playoff final is not enough.
No, it really isn't. And where they get that from, you know, is I guess it's up to them as players and who's going to step up. And we were talking about this before the game even started. Who is it going to be from Leicester that's going to step up offensively and carry them? And I guess if one of them doesn't do that, it's going to be a long second half for them.
Yeah, it certainly is. Plenty of work for the Leicester Riders to do here. Seven Oaks in total command, Io.
Mark, the Suns are 18 points up with the second half to go. Let's talk about Carr, because it took about 7 minutes, I think, before the first basket was sunk or so.
Are tentative.
So, ladies and gents, we are about to witness a demo game between these two ladies' teams. And as you can see, we have the Falcon All-Stars in all black and embarking white, ladies and gents. All they're going to be doing is playing 2 short halves of basketball, ladies and gents. So make sure you support them as they go through it. And then we'll find out a little bit more information about what these 2 teams represent. While the ladies have a quick warm-up, we'll get them ready now. And we have a 4-minute running clock fixture about to come up. And the referee is blowing their whistle now to get them into the middle of the floor. So let's get this game underway. Falcon All-Stars win the tip. So the Falcon All-Stars come from all different parts of the country. As you can see, they are sporting a very specific type of headwear. It is called the hijabi, the first FIBA-accredited hijab for female Muslims that play the sport of basketball. We'll be meeting the inventor of this fantastic piece of fashion for women's. As we get a mid-range jump shot, nice rebound now from Barkin Abbey there on the push, looking up for the lay-in. And girls are finding out for possession. 3 minutes left to go. We need to find ourselves an opening bucket. At this moment in time, all tied up. End to end. total score is 2-0 to Barking Abbey right now. Here's the All-Stars though. Strong take to the basket, nice pass. And that is out of bounds. Just over 2 minutes left. As the Falcon All-Stars tied up, ladies and gentlemen. Big three ball. Five to the score now, and a steal for the Falcon All-Stars. A drive to the rack. And a rebound for Barking Abbey. One minute, 15 seconds left in this one. As the Falcon All-Stars are in the lead 5-2. As another rebound comes into the hands of Barking Abbey, but it's out of bounds. Falcon All-Stars will get it back. And we have 40 seconds left to go. 7-2 lead for the Falcon All-Stars. Strong take, strong finish. 7-4 the score. 25 seconds left to go, ladies. Game winding down, ladies and gents. So count it down with me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, give a big round of applause for our demo game. The Falcon All-Stars and Barking Abbey. So now, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk to the lady who's making all of this exciting stuff happen. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Kelsey Sobrani. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause.
Hello everyone, my name is Kelsey Sobrani. I'm the founder of wbbl. I started this campaign, which is, well, some of us ladies have got together and formed a campaign which is called the Falcons All-Star, and we're here and hope, you can all support us by, with the campaign that we're doing.
Round of applause, please, Gazarani. Now have a little look up on the screens for a brief video.
Because of you making a difference in the world, we're building hospitals and clinics, providing ambulances and vital equipment so that our doctors and nurses can save lives. Because of you, we're educating children in the heart of the slums and in the remotest areas. We're helping them through exams and training. Together, we're helping them build a real chance of a better future. We're supporting orphans and vulnerable children, like Shamsa and Mubin. With your help, we're giving them food, clothes, security and education, so they can build a better future. Together, we're building a better future. Together.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up one more time for the Falcon All-Stars and Barking Abbey. Right now, back over to our host for this game, Mr. Mike Shuck.
Thank you, sir. boys and girls.
Is the difference of the game, and what that also amounts to is the difference in the rebounding. The rebounds are there for Sevenoaks to go and get. That's why they've got 10 more rebounds, and I think also a telling assist total as well with 10 assists. They've moved the ball really well. Leicester with 4 assists for their 8 make shots, but the reality is that they will not win the game shooting 24% in the second half. And Siobhan has obviously got her playing shoes on because she's raced back here and isn't out of breath at all, even though it's her off season. She's still in good shape. But basically, you know, Leicester are now going to have to go second half and shoot 55, 57% if they're going to get back into this game.
It's funny, yeah, like we were just talking about, they have missed a lot of easy shots that maybe on another day they would make, but they really do now have to just try and knuckle down on the defensive end and just make everything difficult for Sevenoaks, every pass, every shot, because they really need all the help they can get to close that margin.
Well, I mean, it's interesting. You were just talking there in the halftime break about the Suns and their rise to what is there or thereabouts the preeminent team in the WBBL at the moment. Obviously, they won the league title by the narrowest of margins. But as you say, to Len Bush, this is almost like the cherry on the top, and he'll talk more to you about the young teams, the little girls coming through the program, and actually what the Suns is the outlet at the top end of that pathway rather than a sort of means to win silverware every year.
Exactly, and you know, that's what makes me so happy for Len and so happy for the organization, is that they do it right from all the way through, from young ones all the way up to the seniors. And you know, really, the seniors is an amazing cherry on top of the cake, but look, it's not just there in isolation. Now the young players get to see this, they maybe get to be a part of it on the bench, and they have something to dream about when they're older.
Well, we did a game earlier this year where they had the little girls come out and do the mascot, and that's the thing to inspire the next generation. We saw that at halftime with the demonstration, and that's what the Suns are trying to do as well, create that pathway through. And to be fair, likewise, Leicester have won, I think, 15 national titles this year through all of their development program, boys and girls, and all the way up to both the men's and women's teams being here on the final day. This finals day, they were hoping for a double Leicester coming into that. That's a long way away from right now.
You never know.
The important thing for them now is to come out and do what in the first 5 minutes of this second half?
I really think they have to get stops. They have to really stop Sevenoaks, or make them uncomfortable. They at least have to make them uncomfortable and make every shot they take difficult, or have a hand in their face, or change their shots, because the offense will come. It started to now. They had a lot of more momentum going into the locker room at half-time, so they just really have to knuckle down on Kat Carr and on the rest of the team just to make it that much more difficult for them.
Well, they are a team that once they get rolling, boy, they can get rolling, but they need 20 of the best minutes they've played all season if they're going to come back and win this playoff final. Remember, they haven't been beaten since 2017. They've rolled through 2018, no problems at all. They've beaten Sevenoaks twice in that time, beat them in the league game. It didn't turn out to be by enough. They needed to win by 10, but they beat them in the league game. They beat them in the trophy final as well. But in neither of those occasions did they face an 18-point deficit at halftime, and it's almost like you need to park that for a little bit. Let's get the momentum for the first 3 to 5 minutes here and see where we are then.
Yeah, you just have to play the game now in small increments, almost not worrying about the score. You have to get a stop, a score, a stop, a score, and you look at every individual offense, every individual defense. You start looking at the score, it can be quite overwhelming, so they just need to focus on each play.
Here we go then, second half about to get underway. Leicester with the possession arrow will get the ball for the opening offense. Here's Winterburn. Winterburn drives in, trying to get it back to Oliver. Turnover on the first play. Here's Fritz. Carr drives hard, and the second half starts the way the first finished.
Yeah. You know, and it's those scores that they kind of need to stop or make more difficult.
17 for Kat Carr. And Thompson trying to be aggressive, go to the basket, draws the contact, and will shoot 2.
Yeah, she just brought that hand down there, didn't she?
Well, when you're down 20, even though it's the start of the second half, these are pretty much must-makes.
Yeah.
Can't let any points go a-begging, really, here in the second half, Leicester. And she does knock them both down. Well dealt with the pressure there by the Suns. Carr has it stolen away. McGarrican has it. Winterburn ahead of her. Still McGarrican gets it to Winterburn. Winterburn finds some space with the reverse lane.
And this is where they're good, Leicester. They can, like you said, score in bunches. If they get stops, they run really well.
Koppel along the baseline. Out to Fritz. Fritz. Carr. Clark, shot clock getting down low. Clark's got to shoot this. Gets it off in time. Doesn't convert. Another offensive rebound. Oliver knocks it loose. Here's Carr. And you said earlier, almost give her the 3 rather than have that one dribble.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? She's going to score either way, but definitely I would rather her shoot a set shot 3.
Nice pass. Super assist from Thompson to Haywood for 2.
No, now they're getting comfortable. It is what we talked about. They have to get stops.
Carr. Out to Fritz. Fritz lets fly for 3.
It's the danger, isn't it, when you're gambling and trying to put on a full court press that you can be outnumbered.
Haywood drives hard and Leicester with a quick score. This is definitely better in the first 2.5 minutes from Leicester than we saw in the first half. Much more like how you see them play week in, week out.
Yeah, and this is, you know, that's how we expect to see them play. Especially from the start, they usually start quite well in games.
Winterburn with the help, but Koppel keeps it alive. Koppel to the basket for 2. And again, look at Leicester going quickly. Here's Winterburn. Oliver opening the mid-range, knocks it down. Much better pace about this third quarter by Leicester.
The ball's moving, and the ball is not in people's hands for as long. People aren't thinking about their shots, they're just taking them.
There's a huge battle down low between Oliver and Koppel, and it's the Leicester player whose number is signaled to the table. That's her second. Lob back to Koppel. Good hands from Winterburn with the steal. Has Haywood with her, finds her. Haywood trying to draw the contact, ends up getting the travel instead.
Did she?
Wow, it was one of them lent in. Be interesting to see. Here we go. Ooh, I don't think so.
No, neither do I. I think that's unlucky. And that is a real shame because it just stops that momentum.
Yeah. It's not just the 2 points.
No, it isn't.
It's the momentum that they get from getting a steal to points.
Exactly.
Here's Fritz. Carr, little hesitation, drives in, knocked away by Thompson. Leicester come back, another stop. Here's Haywood. Ooh, not sure who that was to. It was sort of in between McGarrican and Oliver, with maybe Winterburn coming up. I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, getting the stops, you need to turn you can't come up with blanks at the other end.
Yeah, that is definitely the case, especially when you've got a deficit like this to overcome.
Jump ball, possession arrow pointing Seven Oaks way, so it's the Suns' ball. Bush in the corner, puts it on the floor, back up to Carr, long range three. He's short, didn't hit the ring, it'll be a shot clock violation. It's one of them, we were right behind, it almost looked like it went in because it sort of hit the net from the front.
Yeah, and I think Kat just said to Renee then in the corner, she has to shoot that shot. She's such a good shooter and that's why she's on the court, so she needs to let that one go.
Hayward. Thompson. Cross court to Hayward. Shot clock getting low on Leicester now. Thompson has to take the three, rims out.
Leicester are struggling once they're getting set in the half court. They're so much better when they're in transition or secondary break.
Breaks driving hard, no way through. Here comes Hayward. Hayward breaks away. It's 3 on none. Winterburn will lay it in for 2. And Leicester defensively have been much better here in this third quarter. Their problem has been they still haven't turned all of them into points. They got 2 here, but we've seen 2 or 3 of these stops. And Coach Patel, you can see he's feeling it at the defensive end, but they need to turn those into points to cut into this 15-point lead.
Yeah, and you can feel it. You can feel the momentum shift towards Leicester, and it is their defense that's doing that. They need to keep getting stops, and they need to keep running. And yeah, they're not going to score every time, but the more pressure they put on the defensive end, the more stops they get, the more they will score.
Stop and drive with everything you got, all your heart. Score at will. Take the basketball. Go 43 on offense if it's man.
Concerned about the Leicester attacking the basket. Protect the basket with everything you got, all your heart, he says. That's his concern. They're scoring at will, he says. Probably slight exaggeration, but for effect to stop Leicester getting to the basket. They've been more effective in the second half.
Yeah, definitely. And I think in the first half, you could see that with Seven Oaks. They did have that heart. They did do everything they needed to do defensively to stop Leicester from scoring. And I think Len's just trying to remind them of that there is still a quarter and a half to go, and we still need that heart and that energy on defense to win.
Wow. Can Leicester get it back to single figures? Because that would, I think, reignite the crowd a little bit as well. Those Leicester fans over in their sixth-man T-shirts might be a little more lively if they get it down into single figures. And the neutrals as well in here. Be rooting for a close game. There's a stop. Clark trying to keep it alive. Wow, aggression. He's pushing the corner for 3. No good. And this time Thompson pulls it in.
That could have been one of those defenses where they did absolutely everything they could and still a dagger in the corner, but they got lucky. And they deserve it.
Winterburn. Onto McGarrican via Hayward. And again, Leicester a bit static. And Clark with the steal. Thompson chasing back. Commits the foul. And as you say, once Leicester get slowed down, they just get a little jammed up in there.
They are. They're finding it really hard to score in the half court. I don't know what to do about that except for just to say try and get more points in fast break and secondary break. They just have to keep running, keep putting the pressure on defensively.
Ball from the free throw line. The second one rims out. Thompson pulls in her 8th rebound of the game. Hayward, Oliver for 3. Short on that one. 3-point shot, not been good to her today.
Yeah, not sure that was the best shot to take within that offense.
They've got a bit of a switch, which means Oliver's guarding Bush. But that's to do well. It's Fritz. Out to Carr, open for 3. Off right, another offensive rebound. 12th of the game for the Suns.
And these are the plays they really need to finish. They have to get that rebound.
Oh, but Carr tried to find Clark in the corner. She'd gone baseline instead. And Leicester do get the ball back.
But now you see, you put that pressure on, and they become a different team. In the first half, they looked invincible. They were getting scores wherever they wanted, passing the ball well, moving well. Now you just up the tempo on defense a little bit. They look a little more human.
Here's McGarrigan. Hayward. Thompson wants it down low. Guarded by Carl. Thompson goes to work. Has it knocked away? Still has it. Gets it out. Oh, my!
Big block.
It's Fritz at the other end. In and out. Rebound Winterburn. Winterburn looking to push. This is what Leicester need.
Yeah, they have to capitalize now.
Back to Thompson, top of the key. Carr tips it down to Clark. Knocked away by Hayward. McGarrigan. McGarrigan drives in. Looks to the stars. Frustration there.
And it's difficult because, you know, if the first half hadn't have gone the way it have gone, these little mistakes or not capitalizing here and there on stops and steals, it doesn't matter so much, but they are so important now. It's just that little added pressure because of the scoreline.
She went right down to the far end of the bench in frustration.
Yeah.
Here's Bush to Fritz. Shot clock at 4. Fritz fires up. Got caught by Thompson. And Fritz will shoot 3. Caught on the arm. And will be a substitution. In fact, the referee's going to give it 2 just on the line on that shot. Clean as you like on those 2. Lead back to 18. Winterburn front rims the 3, trying to get her own rebound, does so. Campbell has it knocked away, but Thompson gets it. Shot clock down to 4. Hayward fires from long range. Off the mark. Leicester really haven't had any joy from the 3-point line today. Normally it's such a weapon for them, but they've just not been going in.
Yeah, normally it's something you would worry about going into a game with them.
Well, you can worry about even Fritz hitting 3s as well.
Yeah.
And the lead is 21.
Mark and I were talking prior to the game that if she starts to have a good game, it could be difficult for them, because then that's a third person just with Kat and with Tiani that can really hurt you.
Campbell finding some space. Again, it just won't go for Leicester. Story of their afternoon here at the O2. Driving in. Fritz in the corner. Gets it out to Munns. Presley is fouled by Campbell, who thought she had the ball.
Told you, we never foul.
There might have been some ball in there after the elbow and the forearm. Might have got to the ball eventually.
You didn't know that players never made a mistake, or never made a foul they didn't mean to make, right?
A little break for Carr there, 19 points, 50% shooting. As Presley is at the line.
Not like her, she's missed 3 now.
Or, again, in these venues, I always wonder about the depth perception because of the way they slope away behind the basket.
And also,
in a way.
what's behind.
Yeah,
sorry.
it's just an unusual compared to the normal sort of venues.
Yeah.
Campbell. Foul is called. End line ball for Leicester. Winterburn. Winterburn drives in. Winterburn throws it up, almost gets it in.
I think Holly's doing well. She's doing what she can. She's still attacking the basket, still taking the shots she needs to take. And on the defensive end, playing really well as well.
Winterburn makes the first free throw. Both of them are good, but they came into this quarter in a big hole. They're going to go out of it still in a big hole. Might be able to force it. Just got that over in time. I was about to say an 8-second violation. Is Bush for 3 off the back of the ring. Navarro with the rebound. 10 left here in the third. Winterburn. Winterburn to Navarro. Navarro on the buzzer. Doesn't go. And that will do it for the third quarter. And it is a 20-point Seven Oaks lead. And, well, to give that some context, Leicester have scored 9, 11, and 14 in 3 quarters. They have to score 20 more than Seven Oaks score in the fourth quarter here.
Yeah. You're trying to make us depressed.
No, no.
No, I think, you know, that's the frustrating part about the first half, is that I don't know the quarter score for that, but it just seemed like such a close quarter. Leicester played well. They played well offensively. They played well defensively. And, you know, had that first half not gone the way that it did for Leicester, you don't know what might the score be now.
16-15 the third quarter score in favour of the Suns, and the problem was Leicester had 20 in the first half, and that's why they're so far behind. 16-14, sorry, my mistake.
Yeah.
And therein is the tail of the tape, really. That first half, they never managed to get themselves going. And well, if they don't get themselves going in the next 2 to 3 minutes, they're going to be too far away. They'll still have hope as they walk out here at the start of the fourth quarter. You just go, you never know, if we get the first 10 points of the fourth quarter, we could be right back in this, but it's going to take that. We're at the stage now where there is no more, we've got a bit more, we can do that. You've got to do it now. If you're going to do it, it's got to come now.
Yeah, this first few minutes is really important for them. And, you know, we have seen it in the past from Leicester. They have gone on big runs, but can they do that against Seven Oaks in a final? We'll see, I'm not so sure, but Seven Oaks are just so steady, so calm. They usually don't get rattled too easily, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see. All Leicester can do is keep playing defense the way they've been playing, keep running, and then pray to the basketball gods that it's enough.
Well, Horton will inbound. They're just a little keen, actually. They got out there before their 2 minutes were up. So clock had to tick down to 0 before 10 comes back on. Inside to Jones. Horton knocks it loose. It's going to be a Leicester ball, so it must have come off a Seven Oaks player somewhere in there. Here's Horton. Winterburn. Jones. Thrown away, Carl with the steal. Carl goes behind the back. It was a little awry, but she was wisest to it. Back out to Clark. Presley from behind the arc. And there you go. Not the start the neutral wants into the fourth quarter.
No. But again, you know, like we said, Sevenoaks are just going to continue coming at you and doing what they do well. They're a great team.
Oh. Back-to-back turnovers.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You say, you come out, we've got to start, and then you turn. And you can almost see the life sucked out of them.
Yeah, it is, and it is about what it does to you mentally. It is deflating when that happens, especially at this stage in the game.
And of course, there's no tomorrow as well. That's the other thing about the playoff final. The frustration. I probably shouldn't even start this sentence, really, should I?
Really?
The frustration of losing a playoff final and having all summer to think about it. Do you know anything about that, Siobhan?
Oh, no, it's never ever happened to me before.
Never at all last year or the year before.
Probably the most experienced person too asked that question too. So yeah, it sucks. It's awful.
Yeah.
And the thing is, you have such a good season, and when we've lost, we've won the championship, so we've had a great season, and you still feel terrible because you lost that one game at the end. There's only one team that can go away into the summer having won the last game, and yeah, I don't know what that feels like.
Well, Sevenoaks do know what that feels like, having done so last year, and they're 8.5 minutes away from reminding themselves exactly what that feels like. But this time, as you say, as league champions, I mean, it's really bizarre because there's been so little between these two teams. They both lost only a single game in the league campaign to each other through the season. They met in the trophy final, of course. We came here, we expected it. The biggest margin between these two teams this year is 10. You think that this is going to be a single figure who can execute down the stretch, and well, it just wasn't to be, unfortunately. Leicester just never really got the scoreboard ticking, and here with 8 minutes to go, I still say, if you had said to Kramesh at the start of the game, 8 minutes to go, you've given up 58 points, would you take that? He'd say, yeah, probably. I mean, maybe you want to keep them under 50. I don't know. That's still a good position to be in, but it wouldn't really matter what number was on the other end of the board. 34 isn't going to be enough in 32 minutes.
Yeah, I think, you know, is maybe what we were talking about before, is that, yes, you know, being in the trophy final and that success for them, but it's not this stage, it's not this environment, it isn't this big arena, and you just wonder if they couldn't settle into this game, you know, quick enough, if that was the reason why.
McGarrican driving hard, blocking foul is called. Well, of course, they did meet in the trophy final last year at the Emirates Arena, and Sevenoaks really ran away with that in the second half.
Yeah.
Leicester struggled on that, and it's, unfortunately for them, deja vu all over again. 7:39 to go in this playoff final, and it is Sevenoaks Suns who lead the Leicester Riders 60 points to 34. And, well, they don't look like a team that thinks it's already in the books.
No, and, you know, I think that's, you know, that's maybe the secret to their success, is that they know there's still time left. They're not going to give up right until the end, and that's the desire you need to finish this game off and to lift the trophy at the end.
And Len's a fairly even-keel guy as well. He's not one that goes too far up or too far down either way, and he's going to coach it right to the end. And he's also a deflector of praise, and anything you say to him, quick talk about the players and the team, etc. So he's not going to change his style with 7.5 minutes to go in the playoff final.
No, he isn't. And I think, you know, people talk, don't they, about the team being a reflection of the coach, and they really are. You know, they're so, I guess, level-headed. They're not too emotional. If they're finding times tough, they don't freak out. They're just calm. They're composed. It's very much the same with Len, and it kind of reverberates throughout the team.
Well, back out come the two teams. Aaron McGarrican going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Interestingly, nobody with more than 2 fouls on the board here in the game. You don't get too many games this late into the game where nobody at all in foul trouble, just 12 apiece. Fans always want the fouls to be evenly spread, don't they?
Makes the scoreboard look pretty.
Yeah, it does. Offensive rebound, is it? No, in the end, Seven Oaks come up with it. But again, one of those, is it the way the referees have interpreted it, or is it the aggression of the players? Maybe they need to be a bit more. Sometimes, you know, fouls are not a bad thing to give up.
Yeah.
Occasionally.
Yeah, occasionally. And
when they're called on you.
Exactly.
It's McGarrigan with the steal. Navarro running with him. McGarrigan goes low, too high, but Navarro's there to clean it up. Oh, nice pass. Easy score. Down low it goes to Oliver. Overcooks that one.
Yeah, she's struggled today, hasn't she?
Although not alone in that regard.
Yeah.
Muns round to Clark. Finds some space inside. Oliver with the rebound. Round fires up from long range, and Leicester so normally prolific from the three-point line, shooting 2 of 18 here today. And that's just really uncharacteristic. They're the league's best three-point shooting team, shooting 35%. They average just shy of 8 makes a game from the three-point line. They've made just 2 today.
And you know, it is that thing, isn't it? If you don't get those first scores in the first couple of minutes and you start to panic, it is those shots. Every single shot feels like it has more pressure on it, and you're not just shooting it. You really are trying to score, and maybe that pressure's just got to them today.
Here's Carr. Ooh, bit of a collision there. Is McGarrigan okay? She looked like she came off worse out of that.
Yeah.
Didn't really see it coming. Here you go, you see it coming across for the help, and it's just a clash of heads. She's back on her feet. I think it's one of those where it might have caught it on the nose, and it takes a second or two to get the vision back, where she's going to get a little break.
Yeah, I mean, coaches and teams and medical staff are so careful nowadays, aren't they, with getting hit even close to your head or anywhere around your head. So they'll just check her out and make sure she's okay.
Well, 5.5 minutes to go, and Leicester now into the realms of damage limitation here as Carr fires up the 3. No, it doesn't go through your head, but you don't want to be in the history books as the biggest defeat in a playoff final.
No, you don't, do you, really? I don't think the players will be thinking that.
They won't be thinking that.
I hope they won't be thinking that.
But
it isn't a nice thing to be part of,
no,
you're right. No, you're right.
It's one of those things where it gets pulled out every year. Do you know who was in the, the biggest
Will we say this next year?
Yeah.
No,
So
because
get
I'm
you
going to be
out,
playing.
Get you out. There you go. 84-69 is the answer to the biggest winning margin. Last year, the Seven Oaks Suns. Let's put the positive. Seven Oaks looking to become the biggest winning margin in a playoff final.
Yeah, and will they be the first team to win playoff and championship? Like, over the last 2 seasons, they have won trophies upon trophies.
They have won the WBBL trophy. That was the start, and then they went on to win the playoffs, and then this year they won the league, and now looking for the playoffs again. That never hit the ring, so it'll be a 24-second violation.
They're getting very used to lifting trophies in arenas like this.
Here's Winterburn. Trying to feed it through. Reverse lay-in. Fritz. Lobbed in. Koppel under pressure off the glass, draws the foul. Will go to the line for a bonus.
And they are still playing. It's like we said during that timeout, they are just not giving in. They keep coming at Leicester.
Hayley Miller gonna check into the game for the first time here today, and what an opportunity for her to get 4 minutes of action. Oh, it's an and one. Nobody was awake there. It was an and one. They were all thinking it was going to be 2 shots. Winterburn trying to feed Horton.
It's like one of them where everyone was so sure that I questioned myself. I was like, wait, I'm sure this is only supposed to be 1.
And Round comes up with it under some pressure from Miller. Cross court to Hort. Oliver fires up for 3. Winterburn diving on the floor, trying to get in there. It will be a Leicester possession. Brandholm is into the game for the first time for Leicester. Winterburn. Back out. She goes to the 3-point line. And for only the 3rd time today, Leicester have hit from behind the arc.
And she's been 2 of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's done herself proud today. She's, you know, she's played really, really well, and like we know she can play.
Blocked by Thompson.
Trying to let that frustration out.
Yeah. It's one of them where you go hard, and if you get the ball, that's a bonus.
Yeah.
Less than 3 to play here. Out to Fritz for 3. Front rims, but another offensive rebound. They've really killed Leicester in that regard. 15 of them, and they're not shy off a point, an offensive rebound as well. And whilst Leicester have had a number of offensive rebounds themselves, they haven't turned as many of them into points. And the other thing to caveat that stat with is one team shooting 43% and getting second chance points. The other one is shooting 25% and not getting second chance points.
Yeah, exactly.
More rebounds to be had. You ought to have a higher points and offensive rebounds when you're missing more, in theory. Is Presley.
She shot really, really well today, Chantal. Very efficiently from the 3 and from the 2.
Well, the only place she's missed from has been the free throw line. Brandholm overcooks the 3. Here's Carr, who's dominated the game, to be honest with you. Come in here and done what a league MVP should do, really.
Yeah, well, and again, we were talking about this before the game. I was talking about my teammate, Ashley. You always know that they're going to play well, these caliber players, and it's so nice to be on a team with those guys, because you know that you can just rely on them to perform when they're supposed to perform.
Well, she's certainly done that today, and looking to add to her tally. Going inside, Thompson knocks it loose, eventually comes up with it. Winterburn firing up the 3, doesn't go. There's Bush. It's funny, isn't it? There's no sense of celebration from them at all. Like sometimes you can feel that last 2 or 3 minutes. There's that release, this push, knocks down the 3, where they sort of go, yeah, we're already there.
No, there
none
isn't.
of it. They didn't hear the horn. There's as Bush knocked down this 3, there was a substitution coming in both ways. But even the sitting down, it's muted celebrations as they go.
Yeah, and it's they expected to win, and they have those expectations of themselves, and so when they do, it obviously feels great, and they will celebrate. We will see them. Yeah. We will see them running onto the court celebrating.
But it's not till the buzzer. It doesn't matter what the scoreboard says. It's not till the buzzer.
No, yeah, you're exactly right, and that is why they're in this position, because they just play. They play and they play and they play till the final buzzer.
Well, Brandholm knocks down the 3. Oh, wasn't expecting that, Miller. Here comes Navarro. Brandholm firing again for 3, not this time. Fritz with the rebound. Couple of offenses, maybe 3 left in this one. No doubt in the destination of the trophy. There's Bush. Lewis, let that fly. Drives into the basket instead. No, nobody quite. Brandholm eventually did come up with it. Oh. It'll be 2 free throws. That's one of them where you sort of go, oh, let that one. It's not going to make too much difference.
No, just.
I know you can't. You're a referee. You see a foul, you've got to call the foul. But
do you though?
You do. Jones will go to the line, shooting 2. 14.5 seconds left in this. And the second one drops. And Fritz can just run it out here. She's got to just get it over the halfway line, and there she goes. I'm just going to run it out. And the seconds tick off, and from wire to wire, there has been no doubt. The 2018 wbbl champions of the playoffs are the Seven Oaks Suns. There we go, here come the celebrations. And what a dominant display we've seen here by Seven Oaks.
Oh, yeah, and all year through, they massively deserve it. It has been a close league, but they've dominated in so many areas, in so many senses of the word, and they just deserve this today.
And we talked about how they just come out, they do what they do, they're consistent. You look at their quarter scores, 16, 22, 16, 18, just flatline all the way through, whereas Leicester were 2 up and down and had more downs than ups. They just did exactly what they're supposed to do, Seven Oaks.
Yeah, and they're going to do that every time you play against them, no matter where it is, what arena, no matter what stage or competition. They play their game, they trust their game, they trust their coach, they trust their system, and, it shows.
And at the other end, well, I mean, you feel for Leicester. They've had such a tremendous season, run through it, but it's just not been their day. Well, we have the Seven Oaks Suns captain, Kat Carr, who's down with Io.
What's a victory, congratulations, but also what a way to cap off a fantastic year for you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been a great, absolutely great year. We did this last year, and it's awesome that we got to come back and do it again.
Very few teams actually win the championship and the playoff finals as well, so you guys are making history in the process.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. It's all about making history.
I'm really interested in your mental process because, as I said, you've had a fantastic season. But what's your get-up routine? How do you G yourself up for games like this?
Well, when we met them in the final in the trophy and they beat us, we've been having a chip on our shoulder ever since then. So we wanted to come out and make sure we've showed everyone and the rest of the league that, we're ready to play. We might have had a slip up, but we bounced back.
But the pressure from the beginning didn't let up for the whole game. Was that part of Coach Len's tactics? Just keep going, keep hitting them hard?
Yeah. I mean, we like to play fast-paced, they like to play fast-paced, and I think we beat them at their game. And we just picked up our defense intensity. That's what we struggled with last time we played them. So I think once we picked up our defense intensity, then we were good to go.
This is the interesting thing. Defensively, they're usually quite good today. They didn't show up.
Yeah. I like to think we're the best defensive team in the league, but hey.
That's what I like to hear. Well, look, Kat, go back, enjoy it with your team. Congratulations. Back to you, Dan and Siobhan.
Thank you very much, Io. Well, they're just getting their runners-up medals, the Leicester Riders. Well, this is the hardest thing. And a word for Dee Hayward, who at the ripe old age of 26 is apparently retiring after this game. A tremendous performer for the Leicester Riders. A big hug there from Len as well. But an outstanding performer over not just the course of this season, but throughout her time.
Yeah, and I think for her right now and for a few weeks' time, it's going to be difficult for her just to remember how special her seasons have been, especially this last one. She's played so well, and she really has led her team to great things the last couple of seasons. So the pain will subside, and she will have those happy memories. But you know, it's not a nice one to end on. But she's done such a great job for Leicester and the WBBL.
And Jamila Thompson, the last one up of the players, and they do go and shake hands with all their opponents as well. And Coach Krimesh Patel, who, let's not forget, it's his rookie season as a head coach in the WBBL. He's done pretty well through the course of the last 8 or 9 months.
Yeah, hasn't he just? He's had a phenomenal season, so yeah, I'm excited to see what's to come from him.
And no doubt he will take some learning from today. And, well, that is their participation done. They have to stay and wait for their presentation, but this is the moment that Sevenoaks basically came here to do. This is what, as you said, they came here. They expected, Kat said in that, we had a blip in the trophy final. We wanted to come back and show, I'll use the words, they wanted to show they were the best team in the league, and they certainly did that today.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have, and they've been on a mission the whole of the playoffs to do this. I mean, we played them in the semi-final, and, you know, for want of a better word, they trounced us. They have played so well, and there's no other team that deserves this today.
Well, Renee Bush goes up to get her medal, and again, this is, as you say, a familiar feeling for these players, and lots of contributions throughout the list. We'll talk about Kat Carr in a minute, because they're going to pick an MVP. We'd be amazed if it wasn't Kat Carr, but I don't want to give it away before they make a decision. But if you look around the roster, Presley didn't miss a shot from the floor for 14. Fritz hit some big buckets for 10. Carr with 9 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists. That's just amazing production from the guard position.
Yeah, I mean, and again, that's the thing, isn't it? They've just done what they can do, and across the board, every single player knew what they had to do today. They didn't try to do too much. They did exactly what they knew how to do, and that's it. They performed, and they deserve it.
And high fives all over the place from the Suns players. And there's Len Bosch, one of the nicest guys you could ever meet as well, by the way, going up. And again, I'm sure when you read the quotes post game from him, he'll be very understated about his own input in that, but he's a guy who can coach, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah, he definitely can, and just what you said, when we saw them in the semi-final, I went up to him and said, you know, congratulations, meaning congratulations you, Len, on Coach of the Year, and he said, oh yeah, the girls have done brilliantly, I'm so glad we won the championship, and it's like, no, take a bit of credit, take a bit of credit.
Well, they have just announced the MVP. Shocker, it's Kat Carr. Who saw that one coming? And to be fair, she did it right at the beginning. When they built the lead, she was at the heart of it. For a large part of the first half, she was outscoring Leicester on her own. No surprise, the WBBL playoff final MVP is Catherine Carr.
No, absolutely no surprise at all. And the team took the lead from her. She was solid in that first half, and that's what you need your MVP to do, is settle you so you can all go on and win that title.
Well, now is the moment they've been waiting for, the trophy lift, and well, they're going to go out together. Clark and Carr are going to go out, and they're going to take it. You've got to pose for the cameras before you do the lift. You've got to make sure you get it right. The flames fly. And the 2018 WBBL playoff champions are the Seven Oaks Suns. And again, they went straight to their teammates.
Yeah.
None of that lifting together. They wanted to share it all together. And absolutely phenomenal performance by the Seven Oaks Suns. They've dominated this one. Let's go back to Io.
Oh my goodness, Mark, seriously, if I've ever seen dominance in a game of sport, that was it.
Well, from the moment that Kat Carr scored the first 2 points of the game, they led, they never got any real pressure apart from a very, very small period in that third quarter where they cut it to 12, 14 points, but total dominance, really well prepared team. The players just executed so well. And we asked before the game, who was going to be the X factor? Well, the MVP of the league, the MVP of the game, Kat Carr was by far the outstanding contributor to the game.
Now, I think we'll probably get tired of talking about her, but I'm sure she won't get tired of us talking about her. But what a phenomenal season Kat Carr's had. You know, MVP player of the year at the WBBL, now player MVP of the game as well. I mean, phenomenal girl.
Well, I always think as well, the greatest thing that she can bring is how much she makes other people play. She has her 15 points a game. She had 19 today. Great performance, but everybody around her, she doesn't force too much because she creates for other people. She does it at both ends, and anyone that can be a teammate that makes you better, that's an MVP for me.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, now let's see where Dan is. I think it's with Len Bush, the winning coach. Dan?
Well, Len, congratulations. An absolutely dominant performance by your team today.
Yeah, it was a good time for it. And we always said we wanted to be the best team at the end, and that was clearly our best performance of the year. I saw the game going I saw all kinds of different possibilities. I saw this as a possibility, but I didn't think it was, I never bet on it. And but the girls really played some phenomenal defense.
Yeah, you came out in that first quarter, held them to, I think it was 9 points, 11 in the second quarter, just 20 points in the first half really set you up.
Well, and at halftime, I was a little bit upset with them. I told it should have been about 13 or 14. So, but they responded really well to, just through the last part of the season, and they've just gotten better and better. Really came through today. I was very proud of them.
And you got great performances from around the roster, but a word for Kat Carr, came and did what a league MVP is supposed to do in the playoff final.
Exactly. I mean, we got contributions from a lot of people today, and we talked last night at dinner about Kat. The 1 year Kat gets the league MVP was probably her most all-around focused on making the team better year. She was more interested in assists and points, and she got the award as a result. So.
Well, a tremendous performance. Go and enjoy your celebrations. Well done, lads.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll be talking about her for the next year, really. What a phenomenal player. And I think we've got a few bits of what she's done today, because she truly has been dazzling. As you said, started in the first half with the lead basket, into the second half, started off as she finished.
Absolutely, because she's a relentless player. I use the phrase relentless a lot. She's one of those players that plays minute 1 and he's still doing it in minute 14. As we said, and as Coach Bush said in his interview there, she's really focused on making her team better. And people like Judith Ritz making those threes off of passes from Tiani Clark and from Kat Carr. That makes your life so much easier because she's giving you the ball when you need it. Then that assist number is important to her.
Well, I think we just saw Fritz's best bits there. But when a player like her is on form and the team is on form, they just go for the jugular, because Fritz was hitting threes for fun today.
Absolutely, and the great thing is you see Fritz with a penetration, and she returns the favor by giving it up to Carr, who gives it to Clark here, and they're just making great decisions. Everything they end up with is a shot that they want to take. And that's the biggest difference between these two teams today. They took shots they wanted to take for pretty much the whole game.
Yeah, it must be amazing, though, for someone like Carr to look to her left and see Clark there. That reassurance allows you to play your game, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And you saw in that last clip, She gets caught up by the defense, and then Chantel Presley makes a super cut down the middle. Nice pass, easy too. It's a really nice team they have. They have a great feel for each other, great team culture, and they've got what they deserve. They've got a championship.
Yeah, fantastic. Now, I think, unfortunately, Dan, who's Gramesh Patel, the coach of the Leicester Riders.
Well, Gramesh, thanks for coming out and joining us. Wasn't your day today, just couldn't put the ball in the basket in that first half.
No, it was difficult for us in the first half. We just couldn't get it to go. We had some good looks. It didn't roll in and out. The girls said confident all the way through. It's going to come, and unfortunately for us, it didn't come. Seven Oaks did well. They made their shots and put us in a difficult situation.
And a lot of teams have had problems with Kat Carr, and you certainly did in that first half.
Yeah, she was tremendous. Like I said at the beginning, she's the leader for that team. She played well. You know, we weren't at our top point, and our players, we couldn't make shots where we needed to. They took good looks, and throughout the year they've been hitting them, and unfortunately for them, it wasn't going their way. They tried to apply themselves in different areas. That definitely tried to keep us going, but unfortunately for us, it wasn't our day today.
And second half, you came out defensively, you were playing very well, but again, there was a few transition buckets that just didn't allow you to eat enough into that gap.
No, they're a very good team. We tried everything in the second half. The girls gave everything had, made some different adjustments, tried to put them in different situations. We got a little luck, and then they capitalized, and we had to be perfect for us to make that 15-point gap smaller throughout the second half, but it was always going to be a battle after the first half.
Well, it's been a tremendous season anyway. Thanks for talking to us, Gramesh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I tell you what, his body language said lots there. Arms folded, really stomped in the face. I mean, they got beaten today, but he's got to take something from that. You know, he's not long into coaching these girls. And also, let's just look at this. The Riders have got two teams in the playoff finals, both men and women, so they're not doing something badly.
No, they're not doing anything bad. Their organisation is a phenomenal organisation. It's pretty much a model organisation for the league. And their board and their general manager, I need to take a lot of credit for that. But Gramesh should not be kidding. He will be really, really hurting at this moment in time. It's his first year as a rookie head coach. He wins a trophy, he gets to a championship game. He has a bright future. It's great for British basketball that he's one of the up-and-coming coaches, and he's had a great season. I hope when he goes home and sits down, he'll reflect, and yeah, he'll be disappointed, but look at the whole season. He's done a great job.
I'll give him a hug later, I tell you. Right, I tell you what else is good for British basketball, because that was pulsating, is the men's playoff finals, which is happening in just a bit. So take a look at this. Oh, Mark, lots more to come. How do you feel about that lineup?
Well, I love the way Coach Paternoster coaches. I love the way his teams play. But I'm from London, and there are some guys on that team I've known since they were young kids. It's great to see Justin Robinson in this league.
Big man.
And, MVP of that league, if he has the same effect as Kat Carr, then it might be a London trophy. Who knows? But they're going to beat the most successful club in recent years to do it. So this crowd's going to be in for a great game.
Yeah, oh, Mark, absolute pleasure to have you with me. You've been the energy, you've been my anchor today, you've been my clock as I looked over my shoulder. Thanks very much for joining us.
It's been an absolute pleasure. Loved every moment of it.
Oh, fantastic stuff. Well, as I said, join us at 4 o'clock for the BBL Men's Playoff Final. We'll see you then. Have a good one. Bye-bye.